Beryl jumped to a Category 3 major hurricane overnight with sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. A pinhole eye is now visible on satellite, one of the most dangerous signals in tropical meteorology. Heat index values are hitting 110 degrees Fahrenheit across Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City today. And a Firenado was confirmed in Southern California this morning as wildfires rage out of control. Category 3 Beryl, a 110-degree heat index, an active Firenado, 3 extremes on one Father's Day Sunday. Last night, Beryl was still a tropical storm. 12 hours later, it is a major hurricane. That jump from tropical storm to Category 3 in just 12 hours is historically rapid for June. The mechanism driving Beryl's explosive development is the same thing we warned about: warm ocean water. Caribbean sea surface temperatures right now are running among the warmest ever recorded for June in that basin. And the wind shear that would normally limit a storm's growth is nearly absent across Beryl's entire path. When you combine record warm water with near zero wind shear, rapid intensification is not a surprise, it's inevitable. Beryl has officially reached major hurricane status. That means Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. At Category 3, sustained winds of 115 miles per hour can cause catastrophic damage to even well-built structures. This is the threshold where meteorologists shift from cautious language to direct, life-threatening impact statements. Comment your city below if you live along the Gulf Coast or anywhere in the Caribbean right now. Now let's talk about the pinhole eye, because this detail on satellite this morning changes everything about Beryl. A pinhole eye is an extremely small and clearly defined eye at the center of a hurricane. A small, sharp eye means the storm circulation is spinning incredibly fast and very tight. Historically, pinhole eyes are associated with extremely intense and dangerous hurricanes. This is a serious warning sign. On infrared satellite imagery, you can see Beryl's convective towers punching directly into the stratosphere right now. Those deep red and black cloud tops represent temperatures colder than negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit at cloud level. When cloud tops are that cold, the storm's heat engine is running at maximum efficiency. This is a textbook perfect hurricane structure right now, and Beryl is not done intensifying yet. The question is not whether Beryl will be dangerous. It is how dangerous and for which coastlines. Right now, Beryl's track takes it directly through the Caribbean islands, and those communities are already on alert. Hurricane watches and warnings are expected to be issued for several Caribbean islands in the very near future. The Windward Islands, Barbados, and the Lesser Antilles are directly in Beryl's immediate projected path right now. Beyond the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico is Beryl's next potential target, and Gulf waters are extreme. The Gulf of Mexico right now has sea surface temperatures that rival the warmest ever measured in June. A Category 3 hurricane entering the Gulf of Mexico with those water temperatures could strengthen even further. If you live along the Gulf Coast from Brownsville to Tampa, your preparation window opens right now. That means water supplies, medications, important documents, evacuation routes, and a plan finalized before midweek. Houston, New Orleans, Tampa, and Miami, all 4 cities need to be watching Beryl's track very closely. At 115 miles per hour, Beryl's winds are strong enough to destroy a well-built home in a direct hit. June hurricanes at this intensity are genuinely rare, and Beryl's development is already historically remarkable. The National Hurricane Center will be issuing advisories every 6 hours. Every single one will matter. Do not rely on one forecast snapshot. The track and intensity will shift between now and landfall. The forecast cone shows the range of likely storm positions, not a single predicted path. That means even areas outside the cone today can end up with direct impacts as the forecast evolves. If you are in Florida, the Gulf states, or the Caribbean, make evacuation decisions before any mandatory order. Waiting for mandatory evacuation means leaving at the same time as everyone else, which is extremely dangerous. Leave before traffic builds, before gas shortages, and before the storm is bearing down on you. What is your city? Comment below, and we will tell you where Beryl's track puts you. We will be updating Beryl's forecast throughout the day as each new NHC advisory comes out. We cannot rule out a Category 4 or even Category 5 stage as Beryl continues tracking westward. Category 4 means 130 to 156 miles per hour sustained winds and catastrophic damage to structures across wide areas. Category 5 means sustained winds above 157 miles per hour. A storm that nobody wants to be near. Now let's step back from Beryl and look at what else is happening across the country today. Today, June 21st, is Father's Day, and it is also the hottest day of this entire heat wave. Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City are hitting 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit right now. With humidity trapped under the high-pressure dome, the heat index reaches 105 to 110 degrees today. A heat index of 110 degrees means outdoor Father's Day cookouts can quickly become medical emergencies. This is the absolute peak of the heat wave, a brutal stretch for the eastern United States. Overnight temperatures are not dropping below 80 degrees, leaving the body no chance to recover at night. That persistent overnight heat makes this wave particularly dangerous for elderly residents and outdoor workers. Power grids across the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic are at or near maximum demand capacity right now. If there are rolling blackouts today, please check on elderly neighbors and those with health conditions. Tomorrow, June 22nd, heat starts breaking slightly in northern New England as a weak cool front arrives. But the Ohio Valley and southern Mid-Atlantic will stay hot and miserable through Monday and Tuesday. Chicago and Indianapolis are seeing heat index values near 100 degrees alongside today's storm risk. Heat kills more people annually than any other natural disaster in the United States. Take today seriously. Drink water constantly. Stay in air conditioning. And limit outdoor exposure between noon and 6 p.m. If you're hosting outdoor events today, please have a cool indoor backup space ready to use. Tell me where you are dealing with this heat today. Drop your location in the comments below. Are you in D.C., Philadelphia, or New York dealing with 100-degree heat and no relief in sight? While Beryl dominates headlines, a brand new storm complex is forming on the heat dome's northern edge. That storm complex is sliding along the heat dome's edge, using the hot air as fuel. By this afternoon and evening, it will target New England and the Mid-Atlantic with damaging downburst winds. Downbursts are different from tornadoes. They come straight down from the sky and spread out fast. Microburst wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour can snap trees and destroy property in seconds. Boston, Providence, Hartford, and the New York suburbs are all in the path of this afternoon's threat. This comes on top of areas that may still be recovering from power outages after last night's derecho. Compounding power outages during extreme heat is one of the most dangerous combinations any community can face. If your power is already out and more storms are coming, get to a cooling center now. Flash flooding is also a concern today as heavy rain falls on the superheated pavement across the Northeast. Hot pavement absorbs water very differently from soil, and runoff can overwhelm city drains almost instantly. Carolina's coastal residents' low-lying flood zones from last night's derecho remnants are still active today. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, you face both afternoon storm threats and this morning's brutal heat. Philadelphia has been through a brutal stretch, and today may be the summer's hardest day yet. New York City, between the 100-degree heat and the incoming storm complex, today demands your attention. Tell me where you are in the Northeast or Mid-Atlantic for the most specific update we can give. Any storm path city that already has power outages from last night is in a very critical situation. Now let's get to the West Coast story, something most people have genuinely never seen before. The wildfires that ignited across Southern California have now generated pyrocumulonimbus clouds this morning. A pyrocumulonimbus is a thunderstorm created entirely by a wildfire. The fire makes its own weather. And this morning, local observers confirmed a firenado, a rotating column of fire pulled into the updraft. A firenado can reach temperatures of 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit and sounds like a jet engine from a distance. Fire crews have been forced to pull back. You cannot fight a fire generating its own convection. The sky across wide areas of Southern California is already orange with wildfire smoke this Sunday morning. Thousands of residents have been forced to evacuate as these fires continue to spread this morning. If you are in a wildfire evacuation zone in Southern California or Arizona, please leave right now. Take your medications, important documents, pets, and irreplaceable items. Do not wait for a second order. The combination of extreme heat above 105 degrees and near zero humidity is creating perfect fire weather conditions. There is no rain in the forecast for California or Arizona. No natural relief coming anytime soon. The Phoenix metro area is hitting temperatures above 112 degrees Fahrenheit, and air quality is hazardous. Los Angeles residents are dealing with smoke-filled air on top of extreme heat and active fire threats. Comment your city if you're in the fire zones. Tell us what conditions look like out west. Let's put Beryl in historical context, because June hurricanes at Category 3 are genuinely rare events. Most Category 3 and above storms in the Atlantic historically form during August, September, and October. To see a storm reach this intensity in June tells you something important about ocean heat this year. The Atlantic Ocean in 2026 is running at sea surface temperature records that are rewriting what is possible. When the ocean is this warm in June, early storms get the same fuel as August peak season storms. That is the world we are now living in, and Beryl is the clearest demonstration of that reality. There is no more complacency possible about June tropical development. This year has already proven that point. One thing I need to say to Gulf Coast viewers: please take Beryl very seriously starting right now. A storm at 115 miles per hour, still gaining energy over warm water, is not one to gamble on. Beryl's story is the most significant tropical development of 2026 so far, and we are only in June. The rest of hurricane season still has months left, and the Atlantic is already at peak energy. What Beryl does in June with these ocean temperatures previews what the full season may bring. A Gulf track puts every coastal community from Brownsville to Tampa directly in Beryl's potential impact zone. There are two things every Gulf Coast family should be doing right now: preparing and paying close attention. Tell me your Gulf Coast city in the comments. We are tracking Beryl's path city by city. We will push specific updates for each Gulf Coast metro as every new advisory refines the track. Houston, you are in Beryl's potential path, and you already had flooding from Arthur just days ago. Galveston, Corpus Christi, and the Texas coast start preparing now, and do not wait for the watch. New Orleans, you are in Beryl's potential path, and storm surge from a major hurricane here is catastrophic. Tampa Beryl's track warrants your full attention this week. Begin your preparations before the forecast firms up. Miami and South Florida, you are closer to Beryl's Caribbean track and may see impacts earlier than others. Charlotte, Raleigh, and the Carolinas coast. Beryl's track keeps you in the longer range planning zone. Chicago and Indianapolis, heat index near 100 degrees plus. Storm risk from today's new MCS. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, last night's derecho came through, and today brings more storm chances your way. Boston and Providence, you are in the path of this afternoon's storm complex tracking through New England. Arizona and California, high fire danger continues and no rain relief is in your forecast. If your city was not mentioned, drop it in the comments and we'll update your specific area. Next week continues to look active as Beryl's track becomes clearer and additional storm systems develop. We will have updates throughout the day, so stay connected and keep your alerts turned on. The derecho that tore through Iowa and Illinois last night left a damage path hundreds of miles long. Hundreds of thousands of people woke up without power this morning, and it is now near 100 degrees. No power during a heat wave is a life-threatening situation. Please do not try to tough it out. Find a cooling center or a friend with power. Staying in a hot house without AC is dangerous. Let's bring everything together, because this Father's Day Sunday weather picture is genuinely extraordinary. Beryl is a Category 3 major hurricane at 115 miles per hour, and it is not done intensifying yet. A 110-degree heat index is making today the most dangerous heat day of the summer so far. A Firenado is confirmed in Southern California. Something once considered rare is happening today. And a new storm complex is forming over the heat dome, targeting the Northeast this afternoon. 4 separate weather emergencies on one Sunday. Category 3 Beryl, extreme heat, wildfires, and new storms. The single most important message today is that being informed and prepared is not optional right now. If you are on the Gulf Coast, start preparing for Beryl today. Not next week, not tomorrow. If you are in the Northeast, have shelter and cooling options ready for today's afternoon storm complex. If you are near the wildfire zones, know your evacuation route and be ready to move immediately. Turn around, don't drown, stay cool midday, and track Beryl's official advisory every 6 hours. Comment your city below. We want to know where you are watching from across the country today. Are you watching from the Gulf Coast, worried about Beryl? Or from the Northeast, dealing with the heat? Share this with anyone in the Gulf Coast, Caribbean, or wildfire zones. They need this information now. The atmosphere on this Father's Day Sunday is running at extremes on all 4 corners of the country. Beryl, 115 miles per hour, Category 3, and the Gulf of Mexico could still be in its future. Stay prepared, stay informed, and stay safe. We'll keep tracking everything as this Father's Day unfolds. This is hurricane season, and Beryl just reminded everyone that June is never truly off the table. New Orleans, take Beryl seriously. Storm surge from a major hurricane in the Gulf is catastrophic. Beryl will be the storm everyone on the Gulf Coast talks about for the rest of this. Stay with us through the day. Every new advisory from NHC on Beryl will bring critical track updates. The atmosphere this Father's Day is running harder than any June Sunday most forecasters can remember. Beryl, Firenado, heat index 110 degrees Fahrenheit. A rare Sunday when weather writes its own history across the country. Stay safe, stay cool, stay connected to your alerts, and we will keep the Beryl updates coming. We will be right here tracking everything Beryl, the heat, the fires, and the Northeast storm complex. If this forecast helped you today, share it with anyone on the Gulf Coast or Caribbean right now. Being prepared and informed is the most powerful thing anyone can do on a day like this one. Stay weather aware this Father's Day and check back as Beryl's next advisory comes in at 6-hour intervals.